Hello everyone, this is Ben Lippert again, and we are coming back to my course project for FS 504, looking at daily fitness. We are now on to the analyze and improve phase, so let's get started. First off, let's review the project goals and kind of the problem we have. So really, I've never tracked my progress in my daily fitness routines. So I wanted to track and monitor my daily activity. Now, daily activity is going to include anything from gym time, walking, running, hiking, basically any physical activity that would happen within a 24-hour period. To set some more specific goals, I want to walk at least 7,500 steps a day, which we'd be using a monitor tracker for that, and have a minimum of 3 events that are ranked 2 or higher in intensity a week. Now that ranking is kind of a relative ranking that I made up on a 0 to 5 scale that I rank each activity when they occur. And again, we never really tracked this, so that was kind of one of the big reasons doing it. And also, obviously, it's really beneficial to maintain and possibly increase your physical fitness for your overall health. So let's move on to my measurement table. This is kind of my master data table I have running, and I just took a snippet out here so it'd be easier for everyone to see, but this has been tracked every single day, and if you look, it shows the date, if there is an activity that day, what type of activity it would entail. Then you can see that 0 to 5 ranking of the intensity, so you can see like there might be a weightlifting that would be 4 for an intensity, or 0 if there is no activity. And then you have the duration of that specific activity, and then my daily step tracker. And if I had a missed activity, give me a reason why. And then also any comments, any special comments on the side. So why were you traveling, or what type of weightlifting was there to be done that day, so on and so forth. And now we can jump right into the data analysis portion. And first I put together some Pareto graphs. The first one is looking at those excuses, so basically the reasons that there was not an activity that day. If you look here, the main two are really those 2 pieces that look at laziness and then also traveling. So 58% of those excuses came out to be the traveling and the laziness, so obviously there's a big issue there. And then also, if you kind of looked at the end, some more miscellaneous ones would be the holidays, with Thanksgiving, and then one day my battery on my fitness tracker died, so no steps were accounted for. Moving on to the next Pareto, this one looked at those intensity rankings. So this kind of just laid out all of my intensities throughout the whole time period, and you can see that right here, there was a large portion that were 0, 25 of them. And then if you go down, though, looking at the range I need to be in, that 2 to 5 range for intensity, that actually took up 49% of all the days. So there's a good amount of those. And actually, if you look at that, that makes up half of a week, which would be 3.5 days. So that's almost half that are inside of that goal that I set for myself. So that's not horrible, but obviously room for improvement. So looking at my improvement, not to be comical, but this is just what my solution was going to be, that I hired a quality assurance technician, and that was in fact my fiance, Amy Rich. She was hired on basically to motivate me and to follow up on me. So she would encourage that I get those daily steps done, that's 7,500 minimum steps, and also to kind of monitor my workouts to make sure that I was either going for a run, taking the dog for a walk, getting into the gym, so on and so forth, just kind of to follow up and monitor my routine. So after the improvement was made, I put together this IMR chart to look at the steps specifically. At the top, let's go over a few things first. One, you obviously see this one in this lower control limit, and that would be that day that the battery died. So I'm pretty sure moving forward I'm going to exclude that date for the steps at least. because it really kind of messes up the overall data on the eye chart. And then also some points that up in these upper limits, kind of looking at some of these higher ones. That's not necessarily a bad thing for me, because more steps is not bad. That's just more fitness, a better health. So the higher steps I'm not worried about. The two lines I have in here, the two extra lines, one, the green line, just to show that 7,500 step point right there. So before the improvement, you can see that there are some below that point that we look out for. But if you look at this red line, this would be the 23rd, when the improvement was implemented with the quality assurance technician. And you can see that actually all of my steps were above that point, and most of them kind of got a little tighter. So that's good. Looking at the variation chart, the MR chart, you can see that there were a couple above the upper critical limit, and then some kind of just higher. And if you look, it pairs up with just variations in low steps to high steps. So there were some days here, you can see a big jump here from about 6,000 steps up to like 1,500 steps. And that's kind of where that data sheet comes in, and it shows that, okay, on that day I might have been on a long hike or something like that. So that's why there's that big increase. So the master data sheet really helps to go back and see why those variations are there, which helps. And then the next set of charts I put together were a couple of histograms, and this kind of really shows the validity of the solution that we put into place for the improvement. First, we have a histogram before the solution is in place, and you can see the frequency of intensities again, a lot of zeros, and a decent amount of that 2 to 5 range. But then you look over at the apt solution, and it honestly doesn't look that much better. You have a higher frequency of zeros again, and then a few scattered around here for that 2 to 5 range. Ideally, I would like to look at more data. Since the solution is just kind of recently put in place and we only have a handful of days to base that solution on, I hope that by the final presentation, the conclusion of this project, that we have more data, and hopefully that solution will be highlighted, and this histogram will look a little bit better with definitely a higher frequency of that 2 to 5. If not, then we know the solution did not work, but hopefully the solution does, and hopefully my quality assurance technician stays on me, and we get those numbers where they should be. And then finally, we can look at the next steps. So again, I kind of want to continue that analyze improve phase, kind of focusing on the improve phase. We want to continue measuring and analyzing the data after that improvement was made. Obviously, we're going to input all the data in that master data sheet, but then if we add onto that histogram and that IMR chart, hopefully the data just looks better and better. The variations are tighter. We have more points above the 7,500 steps, and then those histograms look a lot better with the intensities ranging from 2 to 5, more in there, and ideally less in the 0 to 1. So that's what we'll be looking for. And then looking at the control phase, I'd like to correct those miscellaneous data points, take out the battery failure, and possibly after a little more evaluation, look at the holidays and see if those are points that should be excluded as well. Then we'll conclude the process and look at and kind of finalize if the improvement did work, and if it did work, what steps can be taken to improve that solution or maintain that improvement for that solution. So again, thank you for watching the presentation, and we will meet again here shortly with the wrap-up of the project. Thank you.